Shonga chuji anji podrana tosen sanji ganji gonyet rasame shurka muzamas tunza bar sawe lama namla sorate kirba sanji chua shigdani nyamba drupa shumla tantar sanjine manere dambe chanso lodo chanso shabla sorate Lame josme janzo toje ta shirka kuru pema shumlaji Shenri jinga gyawe nyugu ye tanda drupa tanjina drupara ho Ranje lame drambe kaje la kosme jaro shidru la tsohe Rale jana nipre tujo Tuyo irmi jiwara shinji lo. Homage to Sakyamuni Buddha. Homage to His Holiness Jamyang Luntu Gyaltsen. And homage to our root Lama, Gyalwe Nyugu Rinpoche. Everybody raise bodhicitta to benefit countless suffering sentient beings. May all beings have happiness and all the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and all the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the great happiness, devoid of suffering. And may they forever dwell in the great equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. To sacred bodhicitta, the precious and excellent mind, where it is not, may it arise. Where it is, may we never decline, consistently growing, rising higher and higher. We carry on teaching these most incredible teachings of Atisha, the Bodhisattva's garland of jewels. Everything we do plants seeds. Every moment, all of those thoughts that we give energy to, those actions that we give energy to, they plant seeds. And those seeds are planted in our mind stream. And these seeds are going to determine in the future whether we experience happiness or unhappiness, joy or suffering. They're planting the causes and conditions for our future happiness and unhappiness. How is it determined? The motivating factor is our motivation. Is our motivation positive or is our motivation negative? Those create the causes and conditions, and when those causes and conditions ripen, then we experience the result. And if we experience the result, then we have to deal with that result for as long as the fruit of that result exists. For instance, we have this human life. This human life has come about because of the fruits of our previous causes and conditions. And so, as long as we have this life, we have this human body. And these come about because of these causes and conditions. From a cause and condition comes a result. That result then becomes the causes for the next result. And so it carries on, just like dominoes. If you stack dominoes together and you push the one, pushes the next one over, the next one over, the next one over, the next one over. Why are we experiencing what we are today? Is because of what we did in the past. Those seeds that we planted in the past. Positive and negative seeds. Why are you experiencing what you are today? Don't blame everybody else. have a look and say, well, I must have planted these causes and conditions before. That's why I'm experiencing them today. So we really take responsibility. Very important is to practice bodhicitta. Treat everybody with bodhicitta. But also realize for yourself, if something's happening, it's because I've planted these seeds. Nothing happens without a cause. So if they're really good things, wonderful. If they're really trying and difficult things, also make it an attitude of wonderful. These are opportunities to learn. If we don't want to experience these things, then we must stop doing them. Stop creating these things that cause suffering. It's like water. Originally, water is neutral. Let's say it's neutral. But to that water, if you add sugar, it tastes sweet. If you add salt, it tastes salty. You add lemon, it tastes sour. The same. We have this. What we're experiencing today is because what we've planted. Did we plant salt? Did we put in salt? Did we put in sugar? Did we put in something sour? The same as the cause and effect. So what's happening is because of those actions that we've done in the past. Behind all of this is this innate quality of ours. We have the true nature of mind. And this true nature of mind has perfect wisdom and great love and kindness and compassion. But just like if you go to some cities, sometimes most of the year there's a cloud cover. Sometimes for some cities, maybe just for November or December or for certain months, there's a lot of cloud cover. When there's a lot of cloud cover, you don't see the sky. And slowly we might start associating with the clouds as being part of the sky. But the blue sky is always behind those clouds. Just we don't see the blue sky because our view is blocked by these clouds. And then one day the weather changes, the wind blows up, it gets warmer, maybe even it gets colder, and those clouds are blown away, or they move away, or they evaporate. Suddenly we see the blue sky. It's always been there. The clouds come and they go. They might cover the blue sky, but they never affect the sky. The same as well with our afflictive emotions, with our judgments, with our discriminations. We have so many of them, and we've been practicing them for so long that we start associating with them. And we think this is how we are, this is who I am. We don't know any different. And we think if we don't have them, then life is going to be very boring. We think that they give us meaning. But we've been practicing them with them for beginningless time, so they're there. We have this habit, they're there all the time. Just like the clouds. And then one day, you practice some practices. And those discriminations, our attachment, our anger, our hatred, blame, revenge, our arrogance, our greed and desire, our jealousy, our ignorance, stops for a while. And suddenly we see, oh, there's a state of awareness, there's a state of mind beyond all of these afflictions, beyond all of these judgments and discriminations. Just like the blue sky. These afflictions have come, they go, but they've never changed the innate quality of our mind, what we call true nature of mind, Buddha nature, inherent nature of mind. It goes by many, many names, but it's still that same nature of mind. Then through practices, we can extend, we can start to abide, to live in that state of mind, like the blue sky, instead of those states of minds like the clouds, all of these afflictions. How do we do it? We do it through practice. If we can do it in daily life, great. But usually we start with meditation. Why? Because we get very easily distracted in normal daily life. We sit down, we practice meditation, it helps us to become more and more accustomed to these states of mind, to watching, to training our mind. And then it's going to be much easier in normal daily life once we've developed a good practice. So we meditate, bring our mind back to the object. We start with shamatha, or meditation with reference point, or unconditional meditation with reference point, different names. And what do we use? The reference point helps us to bring our mind back. Bring our mind back. We have an object in front of us. Bring our mind back to the object. As soon as it starts drifting away, bring it back to the object. Or it could be our breath. Maintain your mind. Observe each breath in and each breath out. As soon as the mind wanders, come back again. Or a sound. Scan our body. Smell, taste. We can even use our thoughts. Slowly, we train our mind. Training our mind becomes better and better. We start to master our mind more and more. We can advance our practices as well. We can observe every moment. What thoughts are arising? Are they positive or are they negative? Try and observe for every single arising thought. So many thoughts happen. How many of them are we really aware of? I don't think we realize. I don't think we're really aware of how many thoughts we have. In an hour, how many thoughts do you have? How many are you aware of? Generally, the only ones we're aware of before we start practicing is those gross thoughts. It's very strong thoughts of desire or anger or jealousy or arrogance. But many, many subtle thoughts are happening. So when the emotion or the thought has become already strong, that's when we really feel it, that's when we notice it. But we haven't noticed the build-up of those thoughts. Many, many little subtle thoughts that we haven't noticed have happened, that we're just not aware of. You think in an hour, how many of your thoughts are you really, really aware of? Think in a day. How many times you've been doing things you're not really aware of what's going on in your mind? And then, when we get better at this, then what we can do is we can transform. Any negative thought that arises, transform it. And this really you can practice for a long time. You can practice 1 year, 2 years to really get good at this. And then there would come the next instruction. Until you're able to watch really every single arising thought. You have awareness. Accept it or let it go. It's very simple actually. And these are what sometimes the teachers call mind to mind, or it's directly pointing at the mind instructions. The biggest difficulty is our patience. Many people don't have the patience to sit and watch their thoughts. It's really, really so beneficial. And we start to see thoughts come, thoughts go. Things are changing. So how is it that cause and effect is possible? Because of impermanence, because things change. It's one of the natural laws of this world. Cause and effect is one of the natural laws of this world. Impermanence is one of the natural laws of this world. How is impermanence possible? Because of emptiness. The essence of everything is empty. Why do we suffer so much? Sometimes because we don't like change. We don't want change. We don't suffer because of change. Change happens naturally. It's happening all the time. We suffer because of our attitude towards the change. We want everything to stay the same. We don't want it to change, so we grasp onto it, trying to keep it the same. But it's changing. And so, as a result, we suffer. We're unhappy. We're disappointed. We're disillusioned. Because we're trying to hold on to something that's not realistic. It's going to change. Everything changes. Spoken about renunciation. And the important thing about renunciation is not to renounce our happiness. It's to renounce our afflictive emotions, all of these judgments, all of these discriminations. Please excuse me. Even our health changes. The 4 points of renunciation. Precious human life. Suffering of samsara, we haven't spoken about yet. Cause and effect we've spoken about. And impermanence we're going to speak about now. So everything changes. Whatever is built up is going to fall down. There's been great dynasties, great empires. Maybe they lasted 100, 200, 500 years. But at the end of the day, they crumble. Great buildings are raised, but after time, they crumble or they're demolished. They're no longer appropriate. Reputation and fame is going to change. If you have fame, you have fortune, it's going to change. As some of the great teachers say, Lama Achuk Rinpoche used to say, he's met so many people in all his 80 years. Some of them have been very, very wealthy, and after time, they become very poor. There's those people that have been very poor, and after time, become very wealthy. There's been very famous people who have lost their fame, and people who are basically unknown who became very famous. If you're famous, if you have great reputation, it's going to change. If you're a great model, sportsman, maybe the president, eventually new models are going to come. New sports people are going to come. Other people are going to become popular. Your reputation, your fame is going to diminish. Once you're no longer president or prime minister, your popularity may well disappear. It may reduce. So it changes. Our jobs change. Our economics changes. We think this is the ideal job. It may stay the ideal job. The people in the job change. The scope of the job changes. Depends on the economic conditions of the country. Maybe the profit of the company changes. All sorts of different things are happening. Different boss, different customers, different suppliers. It's changing. Economics changes. Wealthy countries may become poorer. Poorer countries may become wealthy. Our personal economic conditions change. The stock market changes. If the stock market didn't change, you'd put in $10 or 10 euro and you would take out 10 euro. The nature of the stock market is it changes. How do you make a profit? Because it changes. That's also how you make a loss, because it changes. That's the nature of the stock market. Politics changes. Look at South Africa. How much change has happened in the last 20, 30 years? Look around the world. Politics is changing. Economically, things are changing. Look at China. Look at Syria. We all have our plans. This is what we want to do in the future. We want to achieve this. We want to maybe retire well. We want to build up our assets. We've got a great plan. And it is very important to plan. I'm not saying don't plan. Plan. But plans aren't made in the future. Plans are made now. Plans are activated or realized now. We have a direction, that's the plan. But it's what we do now is whether or not we move in that direction or not. Not in the future, now. All our actions now, of body, speech and mind, now. In the present is what is creating, affecting, influencing our future. All the seeds we plant. And that cause and effect as well. Remember, if your mind is happy, full of love and kindness and compassion, full of joy, your speech and your body is full of love and compassion and joy. Your actions are full of love and kindness and joy. If your mind is full of hatred, anger, blame, revenge, greed, desire, attachment, jealousy, competitiveness, arrogance, ignorance, then the same too is what you say and what you do. So we make these plans for the future. And we really hope that we can realize them, but we also have to realize things change. So if you really want to plan for the future, really practice cause and effect. Cause and effect is not only going to affect us this lifetime, it's going to affect us future lifetimes as well. So if you really want a long-term plan, really practice, understand cause and effect. You can still have retirement plans, of course. Goal plan, job plans, relationship plans. But also remember that things change. These are short-term plans. Like the people in Syria. Look at them. Most of the people just wanted to live a happy life. They had their plans. What happened? Politics changed. Economics changed. Their houses were bombed. All of those plans they had, what happened to them? Retirement plans, out the window. Buying a house, out the window. Living together as a family, maybe out the window. Family members left. Family members were killed. So have your plan, but don't be so attached, because just like for those people in Syria, hopefully it doesn't happen, but it can happen. Things change. It doesn't have to be war. It can be disasters. It can be economic disasters. It can be natural disasters. If you're born, you're going to die. You hear of people going for a run. Very healthy, 40, 45. Have a heart attack. Don't come back. Go for a motorbike ride. Don't come back. So you must also realize death as well. We'll talk about death another day. Very important. It's part of the practice of impermanence, of change. Whatever we store up, accumulate, one day is going to be used. Either we're going to use it or somebody else is going to use it. So everything changes. Even our relationships change. We start off with a relationship, maybe we don't continue together. Maybe we do. You get married, maybe. After you get married, what happens? The relationship's always in a state of change. Maybe you get new jobs, there's a different dynamic. In the jobs, there's different people. It also affects you when you come home. Maybe you move for your job, or you move places, for whatever reason. There's change. Different friends, different circles. It also has an influence on your relationship. Maybe you have children. Also, a lot of change. New people in your life. Children leave the house. Change. So the love, of course, can carry on. But there's a lot of change going on all the time. And sometimes we say to our partner, you're not the same person as you were before. You've changed. Yes, they have changed. And so have you. So with the change as well is our body's changing all the time. I think our body's the same, but it's not. I think it's more or less the same. Maybe we've aged a little bit. But it's not the same. From when we're born, teenager to adult, there's lots of changes going on. From an adult, as we get older, there's changes. Changes in appearance. Sometimes bigger, sometimes smaller. Add a few lines. Sometimes they're smiling, sometimes they're frowns. We're changing. And that's just from the external view. Inside, change is happening all the time. Our heart is pumping, blood is moving, cells are moving. There's change happening in us all the time. We just don't think about it. It's all changing. Science tells us that after 7 to 10 years, all our cells are renewed. All our cells are new. So we're on the 5th, 6th, 7th model. After 7 to 10 years, you are completely different. Your body is completely different. So maybe that's the only things, your appearance is sort of staying the same. But it has changed. And your body and your name. Maybe your name has stayed the same. But the rest has changed. Like we go to a place and there's a river there. And we go a year later and we think it's the same place. But it's changed. The earth is rotated around the sun. Where its position is different. The trees look the same, but the trees have lost leaves. New leaves have come up. The tree has changed. The river looks like it's the same river, but the water that is in the river is not the same. That water is long gone. It's evaporated and condensed how many times? And what changes the most and changes the fastest is our own minds, our rising thoughts. They change. We're not even aware of all of their changes. And can change so quickly, so quickly. You can be really happy, walking down the road, feeling bulletproof. And suddenly a text message comes through, phone call comes through, and there's some bad news, some unwanted news, unexpected, unhappy news. And in a few moments, your state of mind has changed. Or you say to your partner, let's go to a party tonight. Your partner says, I can't go. So you go, you're having a good time. The next minute you see your partner there with somebody else. All that happiness, where does it go? And how quickly? Or you can be very unhappy. When you meet somebody or some circumstance that changes, your mind is happy again suddenly. So our mind is changing all the time. Many of those changes, as we said earlier, we're not even aware of. We're only aware of when those thoughts become strong, when those emotions become strong. And you realize, oh, my mood has changed. But it's been changing. There's been many thoughts that have been going on. So in our practice, big problem, as we said, is the patience. We watch one thought, two thoughts, three thoughts. Then afterwards we lose patience. Then we just let the thoughts do what they want. And then we become controlled by them again. If we don't have awareness, it's very important to have that awareness, to observe every arising thought, what is going on. Then we're much more equipped at dealing with what's happening. We won't feel surprised, oh, where did this come from? We start seeing it happening. Then we get more and more chance to see this innate nature of ours, this true nature of mind, the state of mind that is naturally love and kindness and compassion, this innate quality we all have, this great wealth we all have. So we don't like change, but change, in fact, if you change our attitude, brings great opportunity, incredible opportunity. Because of change, if we're in a bad situation, a negative situation, an unwanted situation, no, one day it's going to change. Keep on planting those seeds, those karmic seeds, positive seeds. You've got more chance of it changing for the positive, for a happier time, not so negative. Those troubles you had 5 years ago, 10 years ago, where are they now? They've changed. Are they important anymore? Probably being completely forgotten. Sometimes you might think, oh, I remember that. Oh, that was a hard time, but now it's okay. What happened to those good times? Some good times as well. They've also changed. They've gone. Where have they gone? They've changed. When you realize impermanence, then whatever comes up, you're able to accept. You treat everything with equanimity. Okay, it's changed. How do we deal with this change? What can we learn? What can we appreciate? What can we have gratitude for? And if we have that awareness, moment by moment, change is happening. The environment is changing. We're changing. What we're thinking is changing. But we have that awareness. Moment by moment, we have choice. In the situation I'm in now, I have choice. Do I accept or don't I accept? Do I adopt what I'm thinking or not? But if we don't have that awareness, then we lose our choice, because there's certain habitual ways of thinking of ours come in, kick in, and then they pull us in a certain direction. So the lines today still: cultivate love and compassion and make your bodhicitta stable. Avoid the 10 unwholesome actions and make your faith and confidence be strong. We've spoken extensively about bodhicitta and about cause and effect, and we'll talk more about them as well. I didn't go into much detail about the 10 positive and negative actions. And the last line, make your faith and confidence be strong. So this is the opposite of the line in the beginning. In the first paragraph, we're talking about be rid of doubt and indecision and practice enthusiastically. So remember, with doubt, if we have doubt, It stops us from practicing. It becomes an obstacle. So this is belief. Belief is very important. Belief gives us that drive, it gives us that energy, it gives us that direction. And what is belief? Here is belief in the teachings. That we believe in those teachings and we say, yes, this is a medicine, this is a cure for my suffering, for my afflictive emotions. It is a way to attain happiness. We have faith in this, and then we take the medicine. So then we practice the practices. And with faith, it gives us that strength to pick ourselves up again. We get knocked down, we get up again. You're never going to get me down. So we get up again. Knocked off the path, we get up again. Why? Because we have that faith. We have that belief. So faith and belief is very, very important. Very important. And there's many different faiths, beliefs. And you look at the general religions, what we might call religions. What are they teaching us? How to be spiritually happy. How to find inner happiness. Maybe not material happiness, but inner happiness. And they pretty much teach very much similar things. So this belief is very important in all of them. Sometimes we say, I don't believe, I don't have a belief system. Some people say, I don't believe. When you say you don't believe, is a belief system. You believe that you don't believe. So it's actually a belief system. Every one of us has a belief system. Unless you're a piece of wood, maybe. You don't. What would I say people believe in the most today? I could be wrong. My opinion is what people believe the most today is in money. If I have this, I can buy that. If I earn this, I can get this. I can feel important. If I have money, I can be happy. It's a belief system. What makes the euro or the dollar strong is belief. It's actually just a piece of paper. But if you have the belief system that, oh, this is really good, then it has value. But if you don't have the belief system that it's really good, it has no value. If you don't believe in money, it means nothing to you. It's a belief system. And the second belief, the biggest belief system, what would I say? Maybe the internet. So we all have belief systems. The question is, do your belief systems really help you attain what you want to attain? A lot of people think if I go drinking tonight, it's going to be a lot of fun. But often what happens afterwards is comes the headache, the hangover. Many of our belief systems, we think, oh, this is going to bring me happiness. But they don't actually realize that it's actually the cause of suffering. So they feel satisfied or content for a little while, but then the hangover comes. So that's why it's so important to understand impermanence. It's so important to understand cause and effect, to really understand what brings happiness. What do we all want? We want to be happy. We don't want to suffer. If we want that, we have to realize, we have to know what causes happiness, what causes suffering. So it's very important to understand cause and effect. Every one of those thoughts that you invest in, that belief in those thoughts, is it going to bring you what you're really trying to achieve? It's very good to ask, very important to ask yourself. This is why teachers are so important, because they explain to us what really brings happiness, what really causes suffering. And then this we can go and find out for ourselves. We can test, put it into practice. If you don't believe that by putting the kettle on you can boil the water, you're not going to put the kettle on. So this line also is very, very important. And make your faith and confidence be strong. We end there for tonight. Let's dedicate these merits. First, to Gyalwai Nyugu Rinpoche, to His Holiness Lama Achuk Rinpoche, to all our perfect teachers in the greatest of gratitude. That by these merits may all attain omniscience, having defeated the enemies of wrongdoings, the turbulent waves of birth, old age, sickness and death. May all be liberated from the ocean of the suffering of samsara. Sonam de tamcha dzepanye, tobnye nyepe tranam kaje, keka najul balam trupai, zipi tsoli droa. Om Mana Padme Hum, Om Mana Padme Hum, Om Mana Padme Hum, Om Mana Padme Hum, Tarana Tarana Tarana